Start.
Davey, Longwood, cheers to you. Our ship's gunner is under the weather, and we'll have to wish him a farewell for now, but we'll have our cheer without him. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, once again, tonight I'm drinking Kraken rum. It's a good staple. It's a good go-to, and I do enjoy it, especially since I'm trying to get them to be a sponsor. Aye, we got to make sure we're doing it right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you aboard to the Captain's Quarters podcast, the 8th of August, 2022. And boy, do we have a show for you tonight. And if you haven't guessed, it's all about music. Look at that great background that Mr. Longwood put in there. So we're in good shape. But if you want to know how to keep up with us, go to our YouTube channel. We'd love for you to subscribe to our channel and build up our patronage. And once you're there, like us also. And hit that little bell because, ladies and gentlemen, that little bell will give you a signal when we're getting ready to come in. That's like the ship's bell, letting you know when the captain's quarters is pulling into port. So do like us, subscribe to us, and be a part of what we're doing. As we always like to do, we always like to start off each week with the quote of the week. And Mr. Longwood always finds a good one. And what has he found this time? American history is not something dead and over. It is always alive, always growing, and always unfinished. Excellent quote by John F. Kennedy, and a great quote for our show tonight. We thank you very much, Davey. You always pick out the best ones, and these history quotes are really great. So keep that in mind. John F. Kennedy, one of the last really great presidents. I will say that Ronald Reagan was one too. But we're not going to be political tonight. Let me get a last bit of this and set that down. Ladies and gentlemen, we also do a question of the week, which we hope that everybody will put some information in. Name your favorite sea shanty, drinking, or pirate song. And today, while I was doing, and last night while I was doing some research on sea shanties, just so I would have some extra information, I think I've had a determination that we're going to have to do a show just on sea shanties, Mr. Navigator. There was so much extra information in there. And some of the songs, the most favorite songs of all, and I'd like to see what people pop in there. So let's see what happens later on in the show when we go back and look at everything. On top of that, ladies and gentlemen, the crew adventures of 2022. Now, notice there's some new stuff going on. And this is the podcast and the St. Augustine Swashbucklers. We'll be at Ancient City Con the weekend of Talk Like a Pirate Day. We'll be in Panama City Beach for the Pirates of the High Seas, October 7, 8, and 9. And that airs with my brother, Ransom Mayhem. We'll be at Edgewater, Florida on November 12th for Pirates on the Edge. It'll be their second annual event. We helped them out last year with games and pirates and entertainment, and it was so much fun. We are doing it again, and they raise money for a good cause. Children's charities there. You notice there that the Spooktacular is bigger this time. I had to enlarge it because this is a hint, secret time. We will be doing something very special on October 28th, 29th, and 30. Now, everybody is familiar with the fact that we've done our Halloween haunted yard in Captain Mayhem's backyard. But since we've moved to a new location, we do have the opportunity to do it here. But another opportunity has popped up for us. Ladies and gentlemen, here's all I'm going to tell you now. Captain Mayhem and the St. Augustine Swashbucklers Spooktacular will be in downtown St. Augustine this year. How about that for a secret? We'll be telling you more as weeks come on. And of course, we're not sure what we'll be doing for the holidays, for Christmas. And ladies and gentlemen, every Monday night at 8 p.m., the Captain's Quarters podcast. We hope you'll tune in. And that's a good look at what's on our horizon right now, ladies and gentlemen, for the crew and the podcast. Oh, one more thing. We are tentatively scheduled. It's not on this one here, but we are tentatively scheduled to do a live taping of the Captain's Quarters Parlay on downtown St. George Street. And the people that want us to do it first will be Augie's Draft Beer, where you get to go in and pour your own beer. So that's always a good thing. Come in, and it'll be on a Friday night. We'll have the date solid by next Monday night and let everybody know. So that's what we're doing on the horizon. And let's do one more thing. Normally at this point, we do update of any after events, but the last week and a half has been very quiet. We haven't had any after events to really talk about, but I do want to bring up one thing. Today, we lost an icon in the music world. Olivia Newton-John at 73 has passed on. Cancer finally took her away. She is a wonderful woman, a wonderful actress, and there's the note. I can say this, as a teenager, I was smitten. I surely was. And she made leg warmers look wonderful. All right, enough of that now. Let's not be sad. Let's talk about what we're doing now. Those music notes are a hint on the screen all over you. And ladies and gentlemen, I am so lucky to have not only a great performer, but I consider a very good friend, because we've met and worked together for 6 or 7 years now, I think it's been. So ladies and gentlemen, I now introduce to you the great Tom Mason of the Blue Buccaneers. And ladies and gentlemen, complete with guitar. Hi, welcome to the show, mate.
Oh, it's good to be here.
Hi, it's good to have you. You've been a busy man.
Aye.
And you're going to be even busier.
Yes, it's going to be a wonderful fall. I can't wait.
Well, it's good to have you on board. You haven't been in St. Augustine now since before COVID, right?
Correct. Yes.
That would be 2019.
That was the last time? Yes.
Yes.
It's been far too long.
And every time you come to St. Augustine, we have no problems getting an audience.
I love being there. I can't wait.
Well, here's a small hint. We're working on bringing back and reviving Old City Pirate Fest for 2023. And if everything works out and Tom Mason's not booked up for something else, because there's a possibility, because when you're so popular and so good, everybody wants you. But ladies and gentlemen, we hope to bring Tom Mason back. So
well, I can't wait to come back. I miss all my friends down there.
And we miss you here too. And St. Augustine is just perfect for you. But then you've done tall ship conventions. You've been to England. You've been to Ireland. You've been all over the world playing pirate sea shanties and songs for the world.
Yes, I love it. And Australia, I can't wait to get back to Australia. But St. Augustine, I feel like the swashbucklers and all my friends down there are such good friends that it's been far too long,
Well, it gives me pleasure to be on stage and get to sing with you, as long as I don't sing too loud, because you don't really get my voice, that's for sure. But it's always a pleasure to have you here. Your music is wonderful, but you're entertaining, and that's the best part.
Well, that's so nice to hear.
The entertainment is a highlight of the show, and you've got some great performers. Name off all your performers that are working with you, especially the young lady that plays the violin.
The young lady is Sage O'Silver.
Yeah,
she's been playing with us for a number of years now. She's wonderful. At the moment she's in law school, but so we'll make use of that in the future, because pirates always need a good lawyer. But we take her away from her studies a lot. we for the last few years we've had the wonderful Logan Redwood, who people know from Florida um, from Rusty Cutlass.
Yes.
Yes, and he moved to Nashville a number of years back, and both Sage and Logan, aka Chad Bennett, have been in pirate groups before, which is a rarity. Now, another person that often plays with us, has come down to us to St. Augustine a lot with us, is Jeff Thornycroft, which I think is the perfect name for a pirate. And so he and Chad switch off because, in order to be, as you know, Mayhem, as entertainers, we have to make hay while the sun is shining, and sometimes we get overbooked.
Yes, we do.
So, and then of course Josh McEwen is our drummer. He's off with the circus this summer, but he's going to join us for the Minnesota State Fair in a few weeks, and and then we've had another pirate named Pete Polkerbeck who came and did Cleveland Tall Ships with us. We've had a ever expanding crew, but those are the ones that have been with us the most lately.
You've done several tall ship events before.
Yes. Two of the most beautiful were in Norway, in the city of Fredrikstad, Norway, and Bergen, Norway. And in Fredrikstad, I had Blue Buccaneers from England, and in Bergen, we had a couple of Norwegian Blue Buccaneers, and they were fantastic, just great musicians. And the Nashville Blue Buccaneers, we went and did the Gulf Coast Pirate Tall Ships festivals a few years back, and they're going to be coming back there in April of 23. So I'm hoping to jump in on some of those. But
now I know you'll be in Panama City Beach in October.
Oh, I can't wait. It's been 3 years for us because the last 2 years, well, last year I think there were so many people in the ICU due to COVID that they canceled it, and then the year before everything was canceled for COVID. So I can't wait to get back there and be there in person and see you and see your brother and all the fine crew of the White Sands.
Now, I believe that Ransom's online with us tonight. I see.
Oh, there he is. Yes,
he is there. So give him a quick shout out. He'll be looking for it. We can't wait to have you there either. He says yes. So if I recall, it was at the Panama City one in 2017, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
When you and I met, and I invited you to come to St. Augustine for the first time, which would have been 2000.
Oh, yes, it was great. It was, and I saw you do your show, and of course, it's wonderful to work with a professional entertainer, because you know some of the woes of traveling on the road. So
yes, very much so. Yes, yeah. And it's one of the things that I truly enjoy when I get to work with other entertainers, and those other entertainers are traveling vagabond. The show must go on.
Exactly.
Really understand what it takes to really be a part of a show, and no matter what's going on around you, the show still goes on.
Yes, and you need a little downtime,
Yeah,
it's like,
absolutely.
It's like sailing in a ship or riding in the van is so similar. Just like you're with the same 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 people for days at a time, and you just have to give them a little space once in a while.
Once in a while, which gives us a really good segue up to a point about the show must go on. You've had and we don't have to touch on it too much, but you've had a health challenge or two over the last year and a half now.
Yes, it was amazing. I was All my life, I never had health insurance, but luckily, a few years ago, the government started supplying us with the Affordable Care Act, and so I was able to go and get a colonoscopy for the first time last year, and
That's always a joy.
that's always a joy. Oh, I never want to drop a Gatorade again in my life. So, so I went in there, and they looked at my chart and they said, "Tom, I'm afraid we've got bad news. You have colon cancer," and then they gave me a couple more scans, and they said, "Well, Tom, it's stage 4 colon cancer. It's metastasized into your liver." So it was like, which is funny because despite all the drinking songs that I sing, I haven't had a drop of alcohol in quite a few years. But
yeah, and I always have to remember that, because every time we get together, I always offer you a spot of my flask, and I have to then say, "Oh, wait, that more for me."
So anyway, I started to do the problem being, well, there's always a problem when you get diagnosed with cancer. It just carries a few little difficulties with it. But I had already been cast as Festy the Fool in the Nashville Shakespeare Festival's production of Twelfth Night. And not only that, but they were having me compose the music and be the music director. And I had started writing these songs. Actually, we were going to do it in 2020, but it was, of course, postponed because of the pandemic. And so in 2021, I was all set and had been working on my lines, which is no small task with Shakespearean lines. And luckily, the director and the artistic director of the Nashville Shakespeare Festival said, "Go ahead. We'll have understudies that will know your lines. We've dealt with this before, and just, if you start to feel bad, we'll just send somebody in." And so they let me do that, and I carried on. And I have to tell you that, we rehearsed 6 nights a week for a few months, and that was for 5 hours. And for those 5 hours, I was the healthiest man alive. Sometimes I had this device. I have a hole in my chest. It's called a port. And I have a port in my chest, and so every 2 weeks I would have to have chemo constantly for 48 hours. And yet I could wear this while I was trotting the boards and rehearsing with my band because we had a band for the show. Josh, who's one of the Blue Buccaneers, and Daniel, also another Blue Buccaneer, learned the songs for the Shakespeare show. And then when we performed in the park, which I love Shakespeare in the Park because it's like bringing it to the people. It's not, so much of theater is hard for your average people to partake in because it's cost prohibitive. But Shakespeare in the Park, you pay what you can, and everybody comes out for it. And so I had the greatest time, and all along I was having chemotherapy, and it gave me a great opportunity to just forget about it. For 5 hours every night, I was the healthiest man alive.
Well, and the support they gave you by allowing you to do that was probably a help also to your mental or your psyche.
Oh, yes.
You were going on.
Yeah. It was so great. It was like, and then, that was over. And we actually, I made a record of the songs. Some of them, here it is. It's called What You Will. songs inspired by Twelfth Night, and so some of the songs I co-wrote with William Shakespeare. He didn't have any feedback. I'm hoping he liked them all. They're kind of rock and roll, and it was so much fun. It was so much fun, and I got another CD out of it.
if you were a drinking man, that port would serve you well right now.
Exactly.
You could beat the rum.
Yes, perfect. Port. I put port in the port. Yes, and that was great, and then over the holidays, I think I did a few shows in Nashville. I cut back, and in fact, I cut back on my booking a bit, but luckily people called anyway, and I would say, I didn't set out to book a lot of stuff this summer because I didn't know what my condition would be. But in March, I had surgery on my colon, and in April, I had radiation on my liver, and I started feeling much better. And I don't know all I know is I feel good, and also I've had so much love. I had so much support from my friends and fans and people I've met around the world.
Tom, not only are you a worldwide renowned musician, you're a world-class renowned musician, and people, you've played pirate festivals all over the world. You've played other things. You have fans. You don't have just pirate fans, because you didn't do all this pirate stuff all your life.
Exactly. Yeah.
You were doing other things all your life, and you've got quite the list of accomplishments. I'm not going to brag about you, but you can if you want. But I think it's one of the reasons that I really adore what you do. I can't sing a lick.
Well, I can't do it. I can't pull a quarter out of a person's ear either.
So even. But the nice thing is that our level, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to say this without it sounding egotistical on my part.
Mm-hmm.
There are all kinds of mega stars in the world,
mm-hmm.
but there are 10 times, 100 times more of the stars that are for the common folk.
Yes. And I look at it like we're vaudevillians.
Yes.
We're going to be out there traveling and performing no matter what. When I started in the business, it was and I call it the business, but it was just playing music. It was really hard. Making a record was impossible. It cost thousands of dollars in a recording studio and thousands of dollars, and you needed a record company. But it didn't stop me from trying, and I never had a record company, but I wanted to get out and play. So, and there are a lot of people that we've never heard of that are just great musicians, and they'll play in their areas or travel, and there was an uproar about, I think, Bruce Springsteen tickets being thousands of dollars. Well, there are thousands of people out there playing. We can. I'm so lucky to meet people like you, the people of St. Augustine, and to get a chance to play for you, my friends there, and to meet you all. It's a great thing that I think a lot of pop stars and so forth don't really get that opportunity. Meet face to face with a lot of people.
I think that they megastars, and I'm not going to make this political, but I'm going to make it as a statement. Like many politicians, they don't understand the real world.
Yeah,
they do. And us as grassroots entertainers. Maybe that's the best way to put it. We're grassroots entertainers.
Yeah.
And we do festivals where we're on a stage where the audience is arm's length away from you.
Exactly.
They could beat the hell out of you if you were terrible at it, but it's But it's a different genre for us as entertainers to do that, and a lot of people don't understand it. And I think that's one of the reasons that I adore having made a great friendship with you. That
likewise,
we don't get to talk as often. I know that, but I have another friend who I put in the same category, and he lives in Phoenix, Arizona. And when we both were doing comedy clubs together, he was a comedian, and he did some of the greatest impressions of Moms Mabley and Wolfman Jack. and I was a magician and doing the magic. And we traveled around California, Arizona, New Mexico doing shows. Well, I left there and came out here, and he's now doing musical shows. He left comedy behind because he's a great singer and dancer too. So, and he's doing 23 shows a month. In Arizona. He's not in Hollywood. He's not a big star, but he's doing what he loves and writing scripts and singing music and writing music. And like you're writing music. You've done 6 pirate CDs now?
6 pirate CDs. Yeah, we just released our newest one,
which I have a copy of.
Yeah, Sail Again. And it's all of our own music. Let's see. There's a few songs that we've been singing. We've sung in St. Augustine. One of them is Tall Ships. Last time, let's see. We recorded a children's CD.
Yes.
And called "If You Want to Be a Pirate." That was that was the last one before this, I believe.
That was 2019 or that was 2000.
And that was I think that was like 16 or 18, perhaps. I don't remember.
Yeah, I know. They all went together after a while, and the gap that we've had from 20 to 23 or 20 to 22 has really caused a havoc.
Yeah. But there are a couple of songs that we've played in St. Augustine. There's one about that Jeff Thornycroft wrote about the pirates, Captain Kidd, called "Remember Me Home," and we put bagpipes on it. It's a beautiful, mournful song. And then Sage and I wrote a song about the pirate Benjamin Hornigold. I always thought that Hornigold would make for a great body song, and we don't. There are a lot of the pirate acts out there that specialize in double entendre. Some of them just single entendre. It's kind of like they get pretty filthy. But I knew that if I wrote it with Sage, she would keep things somewhat more suggestive, as it were. So we have that song, and actually, there's a pirate it's a good friend of ours. He used to come to all of our shows in Nashville, and then he moved to Orlando and is working at the Pirate Dinner Theater there. And his name is Ryan Lehue, and he sent me some words during the pandemic. And the chorus was "Until We Sail Again." And it was perfect for the pandemic. And it's perfect for now, too, because it's like, we're just like the way I feel about you and our friends in St. Augustine and people that I don't see all the time, the pirate brethren and sistren, whatever the word is. It just spoke to me, and I'd had a melody that Jeff had written, and I put them all together during the pandemic for this song called "Until We Sail Again." And
is it on the new one?
And that's the last song on the new CD. Yeah,
Very good.
Sail Again. And so it's wonderful, and we don't get to see Ryan much anymore because he's down in Orlando. So hopefully when we come down to St. Augustine, we'll meet up again.
Well, I believe he's on my Facebook page, so
I think so. Yes,
we'll make sure that we tell him that he better get his arse up here to St. Augustine.
Yes, indeed.
So,
Indeed.
so you got your guitar there. I could put you on the spot. Is it just a prop, or do you want to do something?
I'll do a little bit of that song. Together we have weathered storms on this mad life on the sea, and there is not another crew that I'd have sail with me. Raised your glass and left your voice, and promised me, my friend, that not too much time will pass until we sail again. Until we sail again. Until we sail again.
Very good. Very cool. Thank you. Very good. It's always great to have you singing, and it's great that you're here tonight. Oh, look.
Captain Davey,
Very good. Mr. Longwood is really good at catching up with things on us for there.
Fantastic.
So let's see. You've got the Minnesota State Fair coming up.
Yes.
You've got the Pirates of the High Seas coming up.
And that's
and what's the one in the middle?
the one in the middle is called the Pilgrimage Festival. It's about 20 miles south of Nashville in Franklin, Tennessee, and it's a wonderful festival. We've had the luck of playing it every year. This year, the headliners are Chris Stapleton and Brandy Carlisle, Jean Baptiste from the Stephen Colbert Tonight Show, and the Avett Brothers. A lot of great performers, and we play it every year. It's so much fun, and we're doing the Pirates of the High Seas. We're also doing the third week of October. We're doing the Tennessee Medieval Fair. They have us there for the Pirate Festival, Tennessee Pirate Festival in May, and now we're coming back for one weekend of the Tennessee Medieval Fair. It's in East Tennessee in a town called Harriman, which has R built right into it, Harr, Harriman, and we're gonna do a party in Nashville, a CD release party in September at a private residence, but it'll be a public performance, so in a outdoor setting, so that'll be good. And we don't have that on the website yet, but and then who knows what's up next. We're gonna try to stir up some Christmas shows, because during the pandemic I did a third Christmas CD. We had the Pirates Christmas, and I have an instrumental slide guitar Christmas CD. And I decided I had these rock and roll Christmas tunes that I needed to get out. So I now have three Christmas CDs. So I'm gonna try and get some pirate shows. I know we have one on
running your
yes
website along the bottom of the screen for the whole time, so people, if they want to get your CDs, they need to go to your website and
yes,
and find out that you're very entertaining and you have a wide variety there of great music. You have so much music that when I bring you to St. Augustine, you're going to play nonstop with no break.
Yes. I started the first when I first became a pirate. It was probably 12 years ago. I mean, I'd written a few pirate songs in I think in 2005, 2006, and when I was touring the Virgin Islands, I would go with bands and we would do 2 weeks straight of one-nighters, and we never made any money, but we were in paradise. And then we went back as the Blue Buccaneers for the first year, and I had one CD worth of original pirate songs, and then I learned some sea shanties and figured out some crazy versions of modern tunes that sounded sort of piratical. And now I have 6 CDs, so I've never in one evening played all of the songs from the our repertoire.
Well, we could make that a Guinness Book of World Records in St. Augustine.
Yes, yes. I would like to be the most prolific writer of pirate songs of the 21st century.
So did you happen to notice that when the pandemic hit and a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, like almost everybody, we were sequestered into our homes, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Did you notice the number of celebrities that were on YouTube singing sea shanties all the time?
Yes, it was crazy.
It was crazy. I mean,
I love it.
There were some that were taking sea shanties and mixing them into Star Wars videos. And I mean, it was amazing that sea shanties really picked up. And I guess the most famous or the most popular sea shanty now is the Wellerman.
Yeah. I haven't bothered to learn it yet.
I barely learn it because every time I'm around, everybody wants to sing it, and I'm going to have to start learning it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Everybody's doing it. I don't want to do it.
Exactly. It's like playing Sweet Home Alabama at a bar. It's like there's enough bands that are doing that.
I mean, I've never watched one episode of the Kardashians. Never.
Yeah, me too. I barely know who they are.
All I know is they're just people that probably don't deserve to have the money they have. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
But so
someone with some talent.
What is I want to ask you, which is your favorite song that you do? Because we're going to ask everybody else that have seen you that they might want to pop in and say what your favorite song is. But before I ask you that, I got to ask you this. I've never asked you, mm-hmm. What made you decide to put a trombone in your band?
You know what? The reason that I play the trombone these days is the same reason I decided to take it up in 5th grade. It looked like the funniest instrument, and I decided I want to play that one. That looks really silly.
Well, we have something in common. I've never told you this, but I played the trombone also. I took it up in the 6th grade, and I played it all the way through high school. Yeah. I think in my 9th year of high school, I met Irby Green. Do you know who that was?
No, I don't.
Irby Green was a great trombonist back then, a jazz trombonist. He would have been as famous as some of the 30s and 40s swingsters, like names. But I learned to play a valve and a trigger trombone also.
Really?
Then I stopped when I was in high school, and I tried to play a trombone about 8 years after. Mm-hmm. If you don't keep the chops up, you're done.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I'm any better than I was in 5th grade, but that hasn't stopped me.
But you're a pirate playing pirate music, and here's the philosophy I have with that. When I started working on a pirate ship here in St. Augustine in 2009 called the Black Raven, we were supposed to sing sea shanties, and I told them I can't sing. I'm scared to sing. But then I realized something. Not too many pirates can sing, and the audience doesn't really care.
That's true.
So I just got out there and belted the songs and had a good time. And
that's great.
So, yeah, your trombone playing is great. Now, if you just do it on a bicycle.
Well, that's one of the things with the song about Benjamin Hornigold is that we figured we could put the trombone as an intro because it's a horn of gold. Yes,
that's a good point. Very cool. Yeah, it's a great instrument. It really is. And I've always been partial to it anyway. So
yeah.
So I always wanted to ask you. I don't think I had ever told you that I played the trombone myself.
That is fantastic.
And so that's one thing we have in common. And I will say this: I was no better than you are, so don't worry about it.
Excellent.
So we do a special segment here, and I brought something in that is for you. Okay. We do a video highlight of the week, and the video highlight of the week this week is twofold. One, it's you, It's a great video of you, Tom Mason and the Blue Buccaneers. But two, it also gives us a chance here to segue in a little while about some of the guests we have, because September 19th is Talk Like a Pirate Day. All pirates know that. Mm-hmm. And September 19th is our 1-year anniversary of the podcast show.
Oh, fantastic.
So we're having a good time with that. So, Davey.
Yes.
Put that video on and let's let everybody see this video.
Okay.
This is Tom Mason in his early days of pirating. Now, we're on screen so people can still see us, so don't make too many pictures.
Okay.
Cheers to you. That's a great song. We play it in the gift shop at the Pirate Museum quite often.
Oh, that's wonderful. I got to write that. I wrote that with our friend John Old Chumbucket Bauer.
Oh, very
Captain
good.
Slappy invented Talk Like a Pirate Day, and I met him on the island of St. Croix in the Virgin Islands when I played down there, and it was such a joy. And so there he is.
There's
in touch, and I've done some co-writing with him. He wrote a wonderful book called Piratitude. Actually, the two of them, Captain Slappy and John Bauer wrote Piratitude, and that's a hilarious book on how to be a pirate. And he wrote a wonderful juvenile fiction book called Chrissy Warren Pirate Hunter, and that's a great. I love the book. It's written for kids, junior high school, senior high school kids, but anyone can love it. And he is now living in Seattle, which I guess has quite a thriving pirate scene.
It does have a good thriving community, and he has been on our Rogues Gallery of Watchers in the show. John Bauer has watched our show a couple of times.
Oh, great! Well, he's a wonderful and funny man. He did come to Billy Bowlegs once. when we were playing there. I used to play at the Billy Bowling Festival, and I hope to see him. Now we're scattered around the universe, but the great thing about being a traveling musician is I get to travel, and
Yeah.
as long as I can keep my health up, I'll be traveling.
And we hope that you keep your health up, because we'd like to have you come back to St. Augustine many more times.
Oh, I can't wait! And remind me of the great new band in St. Augustine that is playing in the drink.
That would be the Pirates of Iniquity.
Pirates of Iniquity.
Yes.
Oh,
Iniquity.
Wonderful souls. I like those people, so I can't wait to hear them at some point.
Well, I have some space coming in the November, December, and January timeframe. I may have to have them be a guest on the show. We'll have to talk to them and see what happens. You never know.
Sounds great.
So we've reached a point in our show that it's time for Mr. Longwood to show off his talents. And because we do talk about history, and we've talked about your history, Mr. Mason, there, and we've talked about music history and sea shanties, we kind of cover the gambit on all things having to do with history of the world, of the United States, of Florida. And Mr. Longwood's pretty good about it. So he's going to pop on a video here. It gives us a chance to take a breather, because nobody will see us for a minute and I can take an extra drink. But give us a second there. Mr. Longwood, give us this week in history. And there's the ship's cat right there. There's no mice over at Longwood's place, that's for sure. So, very good, Mr. Longwood. As always, you do a good job. I just brought the screen back over so I could actually see it, and you notice I might have my specs in so I see what's going on. I want to say hello to a lot of people, because this is a point in time where we want to make sure we acknowledge all those that are tuning in to us. So let's see. I see Adam Lemons. Good to see you, mate. Zachary Harker. Now, Zachary Harker is from up in, I believe, Michigan. And then there's Ransom Mayhem. There's Laura from Portland, Oregon. Look at that. We're all over the map already. There's Jonathan Miller. And let's see if there's anybody that's posted a couple of... My favorite sea shanty is the Bonnie Ship, the Diamond.
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah.
That's Christy Thomas saying that. I like Spanish Ladies Sea Shanty also. That's a good one too. That's a very good one. Love to dance to the Blue Buccaneers. Well, that would be the other half of the better half of the Mayhem family right there.
Far better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone, I don't know how to answer to. I don't know how to put a comment in, but Donna was asking why September 19th was chosen as Talk Like a Pirate Day, and the reason was, well, when Captain Slappy and Chum Bucket came up with the idea, they were playing squash and started cursing like pirates. And they decided to have the special day. But they chose September 19th because it was Captain Slappy's ex-wife's birthday. And you oftentimes remember your ex-wife's birthday, but now that they were an ex-wife, there was no reason to really remember that day for that reason. So let's make it Talk Like a Pirate Day.
And it works for me, that's for sure. That's for sure. Come Aboard by the Alaskan Pirate. Have you ever heard that one, Mr. Mason?
No.
I've not heard that one. That was put in there by Jonathan Miller. I'll have to go and look for that one. Let's see. We have Donna Bogus. She's here in St. Augustine. Let's see. Excellent news from Laura in Oregon that you're feeling better. We have some Facebook users watching the show and have given us command there that that's a great show. Tom, you are a down-home regular guy. That is why you are so great.
Thank you so much. That's so wonderful to hear.
I watch him now. He may be trying to get you at a cheaper price for Panama City.
I love to be in Panama City.
They do a great. Let's see. Make sure you bring copies of all 6 CDs to Panama City. Like Tom Mason would forget that. Went to Pirate Dinner Theater in Orlando several years ago. It was a great show. That's a good
fantastic
one. Let's see. Great songs. Will the Historian. Great festival in Tennessee. Now, here's a secret for you, Tom.
Yes.
Will the Historian is my actual son. He lives in northern Alabama. He's a history teacher.
Is he really?
Yes, he's a history teacher. He lives up in near Huntsville, Alabama.
Oh, great area.
So he probably has been over to the festivals in Tennessee since he said it's a great festival.
Yeah.
So the next time you're there, I'm going to tell him to go up and say, hey, I'm William Mayhem's son, William Mayhem the Better.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Hey.
Oh, that's great.
Ransom Mayhem, let's see, Zachary Harker said he was third chair trombone back when he played. So look at all us trombonists. Ransom Mayhem says that Wellerman is probably the free bird in the pirate world.
Definitely.
That's a good one. I like that. That's a really good one. The DJ at a crew member's wedding played the Wellerman. The crew song it out, fist beating tempo on the tables. That's what you want at your wedding party, right? Everybody beating the tables. Let's see.
You know, I've actually been ordained as a member, as a reverend of the Universal Life Church, and have done a couple of weddings, including Ryan, our friend in Orlando. So I'm looking into perhaps doing a whole wedding thing. I wouldn't have our crew actually cook the food. Nobody wants hardtack for their wedding. But I could perform the ceremony, and the band could play the wedding. So,
Tom, I'm ordained from the same place also, and I've done one wedding, a pirate wedding down at the fort.
Oh, fantastic! That's great.
And believe it or not,
Bill's ordained.
I'm ordained by the same church also.
We have a plethora of pirate priests.
Yes. Hey, you know what they say about too many chiefs? Now we got too many priests. Ransom Mayhem says he needs one of your flags to fly at their event. You got any extra, Ransom? All right, take care
I'm
of
going to
that.
work on it. I was just looking at that. I was thinking about getting some extra ones printed up because I don't have it handy. But yeah, it's a unique flag.
The Zachary Archer says the one that chokes him up is the partying glass.
Oh, the parting glass. Yes, that's a good one.
That is a good one. That's a good one. I'm trying to think of the one I really like. The Rover. I'm partial to the Rover.
Oh yes, the Wild Rover. Yeah,
The Wild Rover. I really like that one. That one's good. Will the Historian says that he will.
He's ordained as well.
Yeah, and he's actually, if I remember right from paying attention to my son's life, he's actually ordained in a real church. He said that next time he's over at one of the festivals over there, he will see you and he will say something to you. So you'll get.
That sounds great.
All right, very good. So we've got a great audience listening. We're lucky because we're at about 240 subscribers right now, which I'm told is fairly good for 10 months of doing this.
Yeah.
But, Mr. Longwood tells me that we're doing really good. We have 226 subscribers and 6 sponsors. And our Patreon is, we have 5 or 6 first mates that put a little bit of money into our purse on a monthly basis. But we're told that we're getting on our YouTube channel, because when this show ends, like all the other shows, when they end, they go straight to our YouTube channel, and you can watch any of the past shows.
Oh, good.
12 to 1,500 views a week right now. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah, so we're doing well. I'm not tech savvy enough to know if we're doing really well or if we're just doing well. But
you know what I think? Doing. That's the key. It doesn't matter how many people are listening, whatever. We're doing, and that's all that's important,
And that's the best part of the whole thing, is that we get to have a good time. We get to do what we want to do, and sometimes we get paid for it. Or at least we make enough money to cover the bills.
Yes, exactly. That's enough.
So it's always a lot of fun. We've still got some time. We may run over if you're not got anywhere to go, no hot date or anything. Tell me, do you have a favorite location that you've been? Leaving St. Augustine out so that we're not biased there.
Okay, leaving St. Augustine out.
Where do you really, I mean, you've gone to England, Ireland, Norway.
Yes, it's been wonderful.
Great Lakes.
I played the Port Fairy Folk Festival on the south coast of Australia. I think about 6 or 8 years ago. It was great. 2 of the Blue Buccaneers and I went, and we met up with some Australian pirates, and we just had the greatest time. And that was, so we were in Australia for 6 weeks, and you look up at the sky at night, and the constellations are different, and the birds sound different. The crows sound like weeping babies. And we play at I play at a folk festival in England, in a town called Filey, which is on the the east coast, and that's beautiful. It's a smaller town, but they have this marvelous folk festival. And then on the other side of England, there's Conway, which is just about an hour west of Liverpool, and it's in Wales, and there's this marvelous big castle that is on the edge of the town, and the town is surrounded by a wall. And so one night after playing all day at the festival, I just walked the circumference of the city, and on the top of this wall as the sun was starting to set, and it was the most beautiful thing. And of course, I love, being in Nashville. I'm landlocked, so getting to come down to Panama City Beach and St. Augustine is wonderful. Not too long ago, we played Tall Ships. No, it was a pirate festival in Baltimore. Yes, it was a pirate festival in Baltimore, and of course, I love the Minnesota State Fair because it's huge, and we played 3 shows.
State Fair for how many years?
This will be I think this will be our 6th time there. They usually have us every other year. And
that's another great thing about being a performer.
Mm-hmm.
Repeat customers, repeat business, repeat shows.
Yes.
The money's nice, but being asked to come back time and time and time again.
I know, yes, and I love it. And the people of, for instance, the people of Panama City Beach have been so good to us because, in the 2 years that we weren't able to come because of the pandemic, they had us film a video set, and which is still up on the YouTube and on our sites.
We did a magic show for them on video.
Exactly, isn't that wonderful?
It is.
Yeah, to keep us working.
So I'll give you, for instance, another way to understand it for the people watching us. I have people that come to the museum, and I've been at the museum now for 11 and a half years. Mm-hmm. And they'll come to the museum and they'll take their phone out and they'll show me pictures of me with their kids from 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Yeah. And a couple of families, we end up standing in the exact same position on the courtyard of the museum against that big wooden door. Same position every year. They make sure they pull the phone up and look at the picture and go, okay, you stand here, you do this. Same exact position every year. That's flattering.
Yeah, that's so great. And so that brings to mind something about the pirate life and the what we do as pirates is I do a bunch of shows for kids. Sage and I will go and perform at libraries and do the summer reading program, and these little kids get over their shyness. And before I was doing that. Before we were playing for kids, we were playing for adults, also getting over their shyness. We get them up on stage to dance on one leg, to dance a peg leg jig for Talk Like a Pirate, and they get out of their shell. And it's a wonderful, wonderful thing.
It's so ironic because pirates were criminals.
Yeah. Yes.
But if you look at the history of pirates and you look at one of the things I try to bring up in some of my tours, most of the pirates had a short-lived life. Now we're talking a little bit of history. They had a very short-lived life.
Yeah.
I mean, the golden age of piracy is 50 to 55 years long, but the average lifespan of all these pirates was 24 to 30 months. Even Blackbeard was only a pirate for 28 months. So when
we outlived them.
Yeah. And so when you get this wow out of the audience, I tell them that one of the scenes in almost every pirate movie that's probably true is that pirates enjoyed having a good time, partying, dancing, singing, doing what they do. You see that in every pirate movie. But here's the reason why. And this might be apropos, so to speak, having you on. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, next week, next month, next year.
Yeah.
And these pirates, I honestly believe, by telling pirate history, I honestly believe that these pirates literally did know their time was short. They knew that their life was hard, and they weren't long for the world. That's why they had a good time, and they spent the money as fast as they were stealing it.
Yeah, yeah. You can't take it with you.
It's that spirit that
yes,
your band and Tom Mason and the Blue Buccaneers, or William Mayhem and the Pirate Magician of St. Augustine, or any of the other pirate entertainers. I think it's that spirit that far surpasses the idea that, well, these were a bunch of criminals. Why are we glorifying them?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they most of them became pirates not because of some bloodthirstiness in their souls. It was because of economic insecurity. One of my favorite stories. I can't remember the book about him, but Henry Avery. They were stuck in a port in Spain, and I talk about on our World is Ablaze CD. I have a song called "Far, Far, Far Away," and it talks about how they were stuck on this in the ship, and they were not getting paid. They were not getting fed well enough. They had no choice but to mutiny and become pirates.
Right.
And that whole idea that they're out at sea and can't go home again. They're the poor, the working class, the poor. They were often sent to Australia for stealing a loaf of bread or something because they were hungry, and so it's like you say, we have to celebrate what we can.
Right.
I mean, especially I really got a tough lesson in that last year. And it's like, oddly enough, I didn't find myself. I might have been told I was at death's door, but I didn't spend a lot of time peeking, pondering what was on the other side of that door, because I wanted to enjoy what was around me. It's like I'm surrounded by wonderful people. I meet people all over the world that are incredible. And why would I, cut that short thinking about, cancer,
Here's another lesson that I've learned. I'll share with you, and it's probably similar for you. Not anything having to do with health for me, but in 11 and a half years, I've done over 9,000 tours in the Pirate Museum. 9,000. I've met people from all walks of life, all corners of the earth, all statures of life, and have truly figured out that in conversations with all these different people, that almost everybody in the world, the common folk of the world, all have the same opinions about how life is. Respect is mutual, love is mutual, and we don't need certain people that think they're the ones that know anything in power. And pirates are the epitome of that. Pirates, the only ones that really hated the pirates were the royal families, the government, and the British, Spanish, or French navies that had to go out and chase them down. Everybody else really kind of liked the pirates. So it's a good character to be. And so many children, I get kids that run up to me and want to give me a hug.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a good life to be a pirate. It's good to be a pirate. In the words of Mel, I can't think of the last name now.
Torme.
Who's that?
Torme?
No, not Mel Torme.
Mel Blanc. That's all, folks.
No, that's another one. Did History of the Young Frankenstein.
Oh, Mel Brooks, yes.
Mel Brooks. Why couldn't I think of that? To paraphrase Mel Brooks, it's good to be a pirate.
Yeah, sure.
So I mean, we really do have we have a really good life. We get to meet and work with other professional entertainers who enjoy the same thing. Everyone in your band, I love having them come here. I love hanging out.
I love being there.
Because if we do Old City Pirate Festival, I'm going to stick my neck out. My wife will probably shoot me later. Our backyard has a stage in it now. And we have you come out and play on that Saturday night. We'd have to have an after party on Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening.
Sounds great.
We'll talk about it.
And I'm listening for Cara cursing you in the background.
Yeah, she hasn't thrown anything at me yet. She's sitting in. We have an actual green room in the pirate room where she can watch this show on the big screen TV also. Mm-hmm. So she's sitting over there. She hasn't said or done anything. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes. If I wake up in the morning, it's a good thing.
Yep.
So, Tom, anything we've hit the time mark that I always like to say to our guests. Is there anything you'd like to say to our listeners?
Just that I miss seeing everybody, and I can't wait to get out there again. You know, it's been too long. Can't wait to make it back to St. Augustine. Come to our website. There's a page called Bandcamp if you just want to download the music, and but I think that's listed on tommason.net, and I just can't wait to travel the world and see you all again. It's been too long, and what a great opportunity. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. It's been an honor to have you. At pre-show, before we started the show, I remember I told you about our friend up in Quebec. Well,
yes.
He just signed on and said ahoy. It's Captain Smoo.
Oh, that's Captain Smoo.
That's Captain Smoo. Say hello to Captain Smoo.
Captain Smoo. I'm trying to get up to the Maritimes this year. This coming year. So any possibilities we can, we're thinking of making our way there in June and July of next year, and going up the east coast of the states, and then over the Maritimes, and Quebec is right there. So we'd love to see you and join forces. Any hints you have, let me know. So thank you so much.
Our show. Oh, there he is. One of the problems with this show is that we have pirates watching us and people watching us from all over the world now, and I'm very flattered for that. So It's a good thing. Very good. Mr. Davey, it's time for us to say a few thank yous before we close off. So let's start with a couple of thank yous here. Let me see here. There it is there. I can make that go down. No, maybe not. There it is. So let's say thank you to our show sponsors. Oh, wait, that's it. Never mind. Go ahead and put that up. Ladies and gentlemen, there is our treasures on the horizon. Those are all the guests we've got coming up all the way up till November 14th. And our friend in Quebec, Captain Smoo, he's there November 14th. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you see something that catches your eye and you want to catch a show, make note of it and come back and see our show, or better yet, just tune in to us every week, every Monday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Captain's Quarters Podcast. We can't do this show without some sponsors, and we have some pretty good sponsors here, ladies and gentlemen. We have Ancient City Sirens. Tom Mason has had them dance on stage with him.
Yes, they're the best.
They're the best. Dick's Wings here in St. Augustine makes the best wings. Paper and Strings, our friends Adam and Christy over in the Tampa area and part of the St. Augustine Swashbucklers. Great singing and music they play. Scarlett's Shiver Me Pictures, ladies and gentlemen. She has a great photo booth, and she is our guest of honor on September 19th, Talk Like a Pirate Day. Why? Well, because it's our anniversary show, but it's Scarlett's birthday. She is an actual Talk Like a Pirate Day pirate baby. So she'll be with us that night. Colonial Oak Music Park and the St. Augustine Pirate and Treasure Museum. Those are our sponsors as we stand. We're now getting ready to go for the 2023 sponsorship packages. So be watching. And if you're interested, we'd love to have you be a part of what we're doing. It is also not possible to do this without some crew support, which is the St. Augustine Swashbucklers, Captain William Mayhem. Oh, that's me. Mayhem Productions. That's several of our crew. The Powder Monkey in the background there. And of course, there's me, Davey Longwood, and Gunner Hellfire. All of us there in cartoon form. And believe it or not, that artist will be on our show here in a couple of weeks. So you won't want to miss that show also. It also is not anything that we can do without giving thanks to the charities that we try to do work for. Inc., investing in kids, helping teachers come up with a little extra money so they don't have to pay for the supplies out of their own pocket. Teachers are terribly underpaid, and we're trying to help them out. St. Augustine Youth Services. That's an organization here in St. Augustine that helps with fostering of children and making sure children are in homes where parents really want them to be there. And ladies and gentlemen, the Humane Society. Yes, we're very interested in taking care of our cats and our dogs. I have 2 dogs and 3 cats. Yes, I can't keep track of them. That's how bad it gets. So our charities are very, very important. And that's what we do with the Captain's Quarters podcast and the St. Augustine Swashbucklers. And of course, our Patreon, which we talked about earlier. You can go on patreon.com and be a part of our show by being a small-time investor on a monthly basis. We have several that are doing that. And if you'd like to help us out, we'd love to have you do that also. It helps us out pay for the fees that it costs to do this show, which are subscriber fees and website fees and the whole 9 yards. We have to have that. Otherwise, we can't do the show. We're not paying for it out of our own pocket, but then we're not putting any coin in our own pocket at the same time. Breaking even is at least better than going in the hole. So, ladies and gentlemen, as a pirate, I'm okay with that. And then, of course, I get to sit here and drink in front of everybody and say cheers and have a good time. And it is time for me to tell you, if you want to be a sponsor, you want to be a part of our show, all you have to do is send us a message. We want you to be a part of our show. If you have a great video you think would be fun to show, send it to us. Mr. Mason, if you've got a couple more videos, let us know. We put some more of your videos on. They're always entertaining. And at that point, that's a segue for me to say, thank you very much for being on our show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm honored to have you here. And as we always like to sign off with our show, it is time to say goodbye. We have gone 16 minutes over the hour. I'm actually finding that as a matter of pride now to go over the hour. So it's a good thing. So, Mr. Davey, kick us off.
Part of the podcast.
Part of the crew, always to you. Cheers and have a good week. We'll see you next week.
Cheers.